Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of our Cincinnati Reds playthrough. We are at the playoffs, which is very surprising. That is not something I think anybody expected. Let's run through the team. Let's run through how we got here because it was pretty thrilling, to be honest. So April and May were not great. We were 10 games under 500, and then we went on a big run in June. Um, we went 17-8 for a +9 win differential. We were not great in July, and then August we really turned it around. In September we were really good as well. So between those 2 months we were what 20, 35, and 18, and we kind of distanced ourselves from San Diego. The offense was great. This is probably one of the best offenses in baseball, which is kind of something you expect for Cincinnati. And then the pitching was, it looks like middle of the road, but again, we're in Cincinnati, so I think it plays up a little bit better. And the defense was one of the best in baseball. Um, so pitching wise, because we know I always start with the pitchers, Zach Wheeler put up a 4 WAR season. He had 34 starts. He was really good for us in 106 innings. He was good for Philly, but then in 82 innings, he was worth a lot more just based on WAR. For us, you could see he slashed his home run rate, which is funny. I mean, I know Philly's not the best pitcher's park anyway, but that's a sizable slash. And his walk-in strikeout rates pretty much stayed the same. His BABIP was very similar, and his WHIP ended up dropping from this home run rate dropping. So he had a really good season for us after we traded for him, and now we got him locked up for next as well. Caleb Ferguson in the bullpen was worth 3 WAR. He had 45 and 2/3 innings for us, so really good season from him. Lane Henderson was a trade deadline deal with Detroit. We got him and another reliever, Jason Foley, for we flipped Aaron Bummer because we had the White Sox retaining 100% of his deal. So we flipped him away. He was really good for Chicago, not great for us in 11 innings, and then really good for Detroit. So maybe that ends up backfiring, but I don't know, man. Look at this. Look at this profile. That's insane. And he was really good for us for Cincinnati, and then fine for us, I guess. Not great, but that's kind of something you live with. Sonny Gray was another trade deadline deal with Minnesota. He was really good for us as well. Um, we didn't give up too much. Jose Barrero was our third string shortstop, and Tony Santillan, which was not someone I really was thrilled giving up, but I thought that the deal made sense. So to get Sonny Gray, our third starter going into the playoffs, was worth it. Michael King came over from the Yankees at the deadline in exchange for Willie Calhoun for Silvino Bracco, who he had a really good season, really good, much better than I think anybody could have anticipated. Um, so good for him. Not something I think anybody expected. Bad movement and an extreme fly ball pitcher actually translated to a good season for whatever reason. Camilo Doval put up 2 WAR. Unfortunately, 1.2 of that 2 WAR was in San Francisco, and then only 0.8 for us. But he was still really good. We have faith, and he's only on the minimum contract for years to come. Garrett Crochet came over from the White Sox, still plenty of room to grow, and he was really good for us. Most of these moves ended up being good. They were ended up working out pretty well for us. Uh, I was a little worried that making these deals would kind of throw off everything I had going, but every button we pushed seemed to be the right one. So anyway, Jason Foley from that same Detroit deal. He only pitched 7 innings in the majors. Everybody that's on the 40 man is up right now, just so we can kind of go through see who played well. But good season for AAA. He pitched 18 innings, 14 games, and .4 WAR. That's pretty good. Brad Keller, we already touched on him. He was fine, serviceable, I would say. He's probably not going to make the cut, but serviceable. If we beat St. Louis in the first round, then maybe he moves to the playoff roster. Uh, Hunter Green had an up and down season, man. He had 28 starts. Then I moved him to the bullpen. His ERA was not great. He still was 1.5 worth 1.5 WAR. His strikeout per nine was great. His walk per nine was 3. His homer per nine was 1.7, which is high. He still struck out 200 batters, but just like a really weird season. And I think that comes from being a fly ball pitcher, low movement in Cincinnati. He's still only 24, but I don't know how much I can really trust him pitching 3 games or one start in St. Louis against them, I should say. So if we advance and wherever we end up going next, if it's more of a pitcher-friendly ballpark, I could see him slotting back into the starting rotation. Um, Alex Cobb was good. He was really good for us. 65 innings, 2.49 ERA, and 14 starts. And then a 1.1 WAR, 171 ERA plus. He also slashed his home run rate. I guess that I don't know why that happens, to be honest. Because he was in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, so maybe it was just adjustments. Who knows? His homer per nine was cut in half. His walk per nine was lower, and his strikeouts per nine were up. So overall, good. Andrew Chafin was good. He was nothing special, but surely above average. He pitched in 66 games, which is a lot of games, man. He pitched in 32 for Arizona and 34 for us. So that's a lot of games, a lot of innings. That's 80 innings out of the bullpen, 81, I think. And then Jorge Lopez we traded for with Minnesota, I think in that same Sonny Gray deal. Oh, no, it was separate. We got him for Jake Wong. They just kind of wanted to get something for him, and I thought that this was a fine prospect to trade away. And it looks like they had, like, immediately released him. Yeah. What happened here? That's weird. Traded to Minnesota, released, signed a 1-year deal with Ogden, then released that same day, signed a 1-year deal next day. I don't know what's happening with Jake Wong. It seems like his whole career has glitched out. Anyway, so that's the pitching staff. Offensively, let's go by WAR and let's open this up. Oswaldo Cabrera had a 6 WAR. Oh, this includes MLB. I mean, minor leagues. I was gonna say like that doesn't make sense. Michael Ciani had a 6 WAR season. You could see he was stellar defensively. These ratings are crazy. A 114 OPS plus translates to a 5.6 WAR. He hit 300, 371 on base, stole 46 bases. He was really, really, really good. Jake Fraley was also great. 130 OPS plus, great defense, 26 homers. Oswaldo Cabrera, 3 WAR season, 140 OPS plus for us, not great for the Yankees. And then he hit 19 home runs for the season. Tyler Stevenson, 3 WAR season, 115 OPS plus, 282 average, 346 on base. This is really, really, really nice production from your primary catcher. Jared Kelenic did come up and absolutely destroyed the baseball. He had 209 plate appearances, 186 at bats for us. He hit 15 home runs. He had 317, 388, 613 for a 1.000 OPS, which is a 167 OPS plus and 2 WAR, mainly as a DH. And his production against lefties was insane too. He only had 50 at bats, so that's probably due for some regression, but really good season from Kelenic in small sample size. And I think he's going to pull some playing time away from Stuart Fairchild. His bat kind of tailed off, but he was still very positive defensively. And his on base was still pretty good. Top prospect Ellie De La Cruz finally did come up and destroyed the baseball himself. 13 home runs and 206 at bats, only 52 games. He hit 300, 323, 540 for an 861 OPS and a 129 OPS plus for 2 WAR. Really good. He's fairly defensively versatile, so you can kind of stick him in a lot of different places. I'm not sure where his long-term home is. I think it's wherever I kind of end up having a hole, which could be first base after the season, could be third, who knows. Spencer Steer had a good season, solidly above average, not much to write home about. I traded for Nick Ahmed because I thought that he could be a bat that was slightly better than Andrelton Simmons with like a better glove, and I think that ended up being the correct decision. He is a much better defensive infielder. He's on an expiring contract, and he hit with a 70 OPS plus, which compared to Andrelton Simmons had a 51 OPS plus. So Andrelton went down. He just no more need for him to be our starting shortstop. He came up and down a little bit, but Ahmed worked out pretty well. He didn't provide a whole lot of real value for us, but most of that was done in Arizona. But that's fine. Joey Votto, pretty nice send off season. He hit 15 bombs. He played in 100 games. OPS plus positive or is positive. So as a 40-year-old franchise legend, that's pretty good. Nice send off. Yasmani Grandal was not good for us at all. This was probably the only decision that didn't work out. But he was angry for most of the season because he wasn't starting. Just not a good season for him, for us, and everything positive he did for Chicago ended up not working out for us. Simmons we touched on, and Christian Walker did turn it around like I thought he would. Not to the extent I thought he would, but still very much positive. So he finished with a nice season. So that's pretty much the team. I don't think anybody is. Joe Kelly was put on the injured list. He tore his UCL. He's out for another 8 months. That puts him in June of next year. So this team option for next season is pretty likely to be declined. Vladimir Gutierrez, I think, was out for the whole season anyway, and Connor Phillips is coming back, but he'll probably go right down to AAA. I don't need him up right now. So that's pretty much the team. The prospects were good. Let's run through them too. Minor leagues, no, not here. Front office strategy, player development. Yeah. Okay, Ellie De La Cruz, we talked about him. He was destroying the baseball in the minors. Cam Collier, good season overall. He was fairly negative in 51 games at high A. I think that was a little aggressive for Rebecca McFeeters to push him. And then in A ball, he was, he had a 103 OPS plus and 2 WAR. So fairly aggressive. He's unhappy because for whatever reason, his role on team, who knows. But pretty good season for him. Noelvi Marte is I want him to try and learn some more infield. He was very good all season. He ended up fighting one of the other top prospects for some playing time at AAA, and he got hurt for a while. But overall, good season. We're gonna look for him to have a big role next year. Matt McLean came up a little bit. He was fine, not great. So, and we really expanded the defensive versatility for him, so he can play anywhere. He's probably going to be our main utility backup player up at the major league level last season or next season. But he had a really good AAA season, so maybe with more run, he would have put up a better offensive line. Edwin Arroyo came up when Noelvi Marte went down with his injury, and he played very well for AAA. Jay Allen the second. Really special defensive outfielder, but not great with the bat this year. So he's probably looking at another AAA season, at least to start the year next year. And then a lot of these guys were just, good to... I didn't pay too much attention to the lower level guys. And they were very aggressive with Alfredo Duno, the 17-year-old catching prospect. He was really good in A-ball, which was very surprising as a 17-year-old catcher. Very good in A-ball, but not great in his limited exposure in high A. He had 100 at bats. So that was aggressive for sure. But encouraging, I would say. And then Tyler Callahan was one of our draftees for this season. No. He was a real life prospect. Not great in AAA. And then what about our um, our drafted players draft pool order history. Okay, custom. Okay. Garrett Forrester was at high A, 114 OPS plus, pretty good for a just drafted guy. Trey Morgan, an 87 OPS plus at high A, so not as good. Um, he only had one game in A ball, and they even bumped him up to double A for a couple games, and he kind of got hot. But high A seems to be where he was living, so we could see him sooner rather than later. Drew Bowser was good at double A in limited exposure and not great in high A, but it seems like Rebecca McFeeters likes to advance these guys aggressively, which is fine. Probably better than I would do. Our Stony Brook University catcher Shane Paradine might actually be a prospect, which I think is really cool. He had 100 plate appearances at AAA, at a high A, sorry, a 144 OPS plus, and then he made a cameo at AA and had a 128 OPS plus. So he might be a real prospect, which is not something I think I anticipated. So that's kind of exciting. Ty Pete only was a hitter at rookie ball, not a good one. He's still only 18. He's very, very young. He'll be 18 for all of next season, pretty much. So we set him as a two-way guy because his potential in both is pretty good. So we're gonna see if he can develop like that. I'm not sure it's possible, but we're gonna try it. And that's pretty much everyone I think we have to talk about. So playoff coverage. Let's talk about that. The playoff tree: Tampa Bay, New York, the Angels, and your White Sox are your top four in the wild card series. I meant to change this to say wild card series instead of game. The Yankees were a 94 win wild card team, as was Tampa Bay, a 93 win. So the AL East really carrying the American League here. That's why they have three teams. Seattle was really good. They won 96 games, and Baltimore, we just touched on, 95. The Angels won 86 games, came in second in their division, and then the White Sox were your Central Division winners at 500, and I guess they beat the Guardians in probably a game 163. I thought I'd turn those on. Maybe not, but I like game 163s instead of the tiebreaker. I'd rather have that. So that's your American League. In the National League, the Mets won 100 games. Excuse me. They turned it up towards the end of the year. Yeah, so in July, 14-9, 22-7, 17-10. They were not a good offensive team, which we kind of expect, but a great pitching staff. And I don't think they made too many deals midseason. There's not much they can do. This bullpen looks rough. Not great. If Jeff Brigham is your setup man, it's not great. No offense, Jeff Brigham. And Quintana, I actually did that. I moved him to the bullpen. Looks like this offense is pretty standard. They moved Jeff to left, Nimmo's in center, Guillorme's at second, and traded for Mike Moustakas. That's pretty cool. Would they give up? Yeah, whatever. I'd probably do the same thing. I wonder how all the prospects played. Tomas Nido. Oh, Alvarez. I care about Francisco Alvarez. Good season. Positive. Very nice. He's a 65 overall playing behind Tomas Nido. That's ridiculous. There's a good chance I go and mess with that and get rid of Tomas Nido because there's no reason Nido should be playing over Narvaez and Alvarez. That makes no sense. So maybe I force trade. Maybe I trade for Nido. He's got a good defensive value. Who knows? Anyway, that's your Mets. Your Padres were your next best team. They won 95 games, as did the Dodgers. The Dodgers were your wild card team because of the tiebreaker. So they get to play Atlanta, who won 99 games. And as a division winner, Cincinnati Reds, we got to play the worst of the wild card teams, which was the St. Louis Cardinals. We went into our last series was against them, but we had it clinched. So Zach Wheeler unfortunately got hurt in this 15 inning game. He like twisted his ankle, only pitched an inning and 2/3. Um, and then this ended up going 15. Then the AI lost 3-7 in this game. Um, but we pulled up Nick Lodolo because we already clinched the division. This game doesn't matter. So we called him up just to get a start in, and it looks like he was really bad. So he didn't even really pitch that many innings. And then I took control for this game because this doesn't matter. So I started everybody on the bench. I demoted some of the starters. I sent Hunter Green down just to get another bat. Um, and then Adrian Hauser, I took control of, pitched 7 innings, 10 hits, 5 earned, 1 walk. Just because I didn't want anybody else to have to pitch. So Adrian Hauser went 7, and Alexis Diaz closed the game. So that's that. Um, let's looking at St. Louis, really good offensive team, middle of the pack defensive team, pitching staff wise, and pretty good defensive team. I This is a scary team. I'm not super thrilled about having to play them. This is a team that could beat us in 3. Um, I think we're set up well enough. Hmm. Playoff roster. That's the word. Okay. Playoff roster. I think we go heavy on the bats for the playoff roster and a little bit lighter on the pitchers. Brad Keller can come off. Foley, I'm probably not going to use. But I want the ability to pinch hit. I think Willie Calhoun on the playoff roster. Alejo Lopez on the playoff roster. So that's 26. I am missing Alexis Diaz, but I don't trust him. So I don't even think we talked about him. He was negative this season in 53 innings. This extreme fly ball and lack of movement really crushed him. So he's probably someone we're going to look to move in the offseason. I like him in real life. I don't think his profile plays like that, but I just don't think we can support that in the sim. Jonathan India had an awful season, really bad. Not someone we're probably going to bring back if he's in. Yeah, no. Probably going to non-tender him. I want Mac McLean up. But who? Oh, let's talk about Raver San Martin. While we're finishing up, this man put up 2 WAR this season in 115 innings. He just would not go away. I tried to move him to the bullpen. I tried to demote him, but he just kept pitching. And he had 15 starts and 56 games pitched. He was so good for no reason. I just don't understand it. Not somebody I trust for playoffs, but he was like our number 3 starter for a good chunk of the playoff push, and he was really, really good. I don't understand it. Makes no sense, but that's fine. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. Calhoun is probably gonna. Yeah, I think I want him up. So who drops? Is it a pitcher or a batter? We have 11 pitchers. I think that's fine for a 3-game series. We can go a little light. And then batters, I think we drop someone. It's probably Alejo Lopez. Probably. Yeah. I'd rather have Matt McLean on the playoff roster than Alejo Lopez. Okay, so the only thing that I really have for Joe Madden is that Tyler Stevenson has to play over Yasmani Grandal. But what would you do? So Stevenson, Walker, Cabrera, Steer, Ahmed, Fairchild, Siani, Fraley, Kellenic. I think that's fine other than this. And we don't do this nonsense in the playoffs, Joe. Come on, man. I think that's fine. Having McLean and Steer off the bench is good. I think Ellie De La Cruz needs to play. His bat is just too potent. And then we can. He was like my 3 hitter for most of the season. We can do that, I think, and maybe that. I think that's fine. Versus lefties, they want Steer again. No. Okay. Sorry. Not happening. I think yeah. Joey Votto isn't even like listed anywhere. He's like a he might not even deserve to make it. No, we're gonna keep him. I think he's probably fine as a pinch hitter. Kellenic, Stevenson, Cabrera. Yeah, we do that. Fairchild, Fraley, Siani, Ahmed. Yep, good, 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 good. Okay, this is pretty much very similar to what I would do, just not in the same order. Um, Kellenic, Fraley, Siani. Yeah, okay. All right, this is a lineup that I would also put together. Your pitching staff, what would you do for this? I'm going to have you run it. Hunter Green, I don't think that makes sense. I want Sonny Gray starting. I don't think I trust him starting here. We're going to make him a reliever. Now what you got? Alex Wheeler, Cobb, Gray. Crochet is probably too good to be a specialist. You're the specialist. Long relief as your secondary, and you are. Let's call you a stopper. Let's do that, and then set up as your secondary. High leverage as your secondary. High leverage as yours. So we got a lot of guys who will be fine. This bullpen's pretty good, man. I like how this bullpen turned out. I don't. Hunter Green is set up. No, I think Doval is our setup man, closer, and I think Hunter Green's our middle reliever, and then secondary can be set up. All right, Joe, I'm gonna mess with your bullpen because you had a really good offensive lineup, but you had a good offensive lineup, but I'm gonna take control of this pitching staff for this 3-game series. But you're gonna control everything. So playoff roster, I think, is set. I think it works well. We have plenty of options for Joe Madden off the bench. We have plenty of. I think our lineup is deep. I think our lineup is good. So we're gonna play. We're gonna play through this wild card series. Actually, waiver wire. No. No. Part of me, maybe, because Zach Wheeler does have some influence on this ankle from throwing. Part of me wants to switch these guys around. I know that it's not the greatest idea, but I think I have to. I'm not trying to. I think getting Zach Wheeler in game 2 is fine rather than game 1. He's still going to pitch. Okay, game 1. Alex Cobb, Jack Flaherty. 4-2 loss. What happened? Alex Cobb, 3 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. 1 earned from Hunter Green, Doval with an earned run. Yeah, so this is why I don't trust Hunter Green for this exact reason. He just gives up runs, man. I think we just don't use him. Actually, no, this is a bad idea. If we get an emergency, this is what's gonna happen. Hunter Green, used less often, I think, and your secondary is long relief. What if we just make him a long reliever? I think that makes more sense. Long reliever, avoid high leverage. I guess mop up as a secondary. All right, game 2. Zach Wheeler. And we win, which is nice. Don't care. Jared Kellenic had went 2 for 5 with a bomb. Christian Walker was the walk-off hero. Oh, we walked it off. Very nice. Solo shot in the bottom of the 9th. Wow. Christian Walker trade paying dividends. Ellie De La Cruz went 0 for 4. Walker went 1 for 4. Cabrera 1 for 3. So a lot of these guys are not kind of pulling their own weight. Fraley got hurt. Just got pinch hit for really fucking early. What? That's so weird. Okay. Why would you pinch hit Yasmani Grandal for Ahmed? That makes no sense either. Okay. Zach Wheeler, 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Ferguson, Crochet, and King. Wheeler getting pulled that early is kind of weird, but 85 pitches, I guess. Quick hook. So, game 3. Andre Palante, extreme ground baller versus Sonny Gray. Okay, so now we have a decision to make. I don't think I do it. I think that would be like a really like boom or bust kind of pick. I don't think I can do it. We're gonna save Hunter Green just in case we make it. He would be our 4th starter. Game 3, Sonny Gray. Come on, man. This is what we traded for you for. And we won 6-2. That is a relief. Okay, 40 man needs a spot for this guy. Then we'll go through Hauser. Goodbye. And then you go down to AAA. All right, so game 3, we won 6-2. Jared Kenelinick, wild card MVP. Very nice. So we play the Padres next round. Tyler Stevenson, Jared Kalinick went well, hit well. Ellie De La Cruz went 1 for 3. Oswaldo Cabrera hit a bomb. Jared Kenelinick hit a double. Sonny Gray, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Very nice. Jorge Lopez, 1 2/3. Caleb Ferguson, 1 1/3, and Lane Henderson got 1 out. Palante played well, but the bullpen gave it up. Miles Michaelis gave up 3 runs. Matt Stram gave up 3 runs, and Liberatore was very good. So we won, which is fantastic. But now the playoff roster, we need to expand to a 4-man pitching rotation, and this is where Hunter Green comes in. But that means Wheeler's tired and Gray is tired, which means Hunter Green kind of has to be our number 2 right now. Alec Cobb is also tired. So Hunter Green might start game 1. But I don't know when the next series starts. Okay. Because we're waiting for Tampa Bay and New York, I guess. Okay. We're going to save because this game likes to crash. Okay. So we get to play San Diego. And they won 95 games. They were very good. This offense looks potent. Juan Soto did not have a good year. He only played in 100 games. Injury history? Oblique strain, strained rib, hamstring strain, intercostal strain. He's just been hurt. Bullpen looks great. Pitching staff looks, starters look good. Darvish, Musgrove, Blake Snell. Darvish pitching a full season, surprising. He always usually gets hurt every playthrough I see. Yeah, so offense was not as great, but Juan Soto was hurt, and the pitching staff was good. Okay. So, wow, look at that. I wish we could get that. But they have a huge market size, very good loyalty, and 100% interest. Our fan interest did go up 20 points this season, which was very nice. Interesting. Okay. What am I looking for? I think the offensive lineup is fine. I think maybe now we drop Joey Votto from a playoff roster. And we get another starting pitcher. Sorry, Joey. Thank you for all you've done. I just can't do it. Another pitcher, Alexis Diaz, Jason Foley, Ricky Karcher, Brad Keller. I think Brad Keller might be the pick. Even if it's just insurance. Yeah, because what do these guys look like? Yeah, Hunter Green has to start game 1. I could start Keller, but I don't think I have to. So he's our long reliever, mop-up type guy. Because then we get Cobb for game 2. We get Wheeler, Gray, and then back to Hunter Green. In a 5-game series. Or is this 7 now? No, it's 5. It's 5, so I don't even... But I do need Hunter Green for game 1. So it might be Sonny Gray that gets skipped. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Game 1. Blake Snell. 4-0 loss. Blake Snell held us in check. Hunter Green, 4 runs in 3 1/3. Chafin and Ferguson closed it up, or cleaned it up. We are at San Diego. Alex Cobb and Joe Musgrove. 7-5 loss. Not great, guys. Not great. Joe Musgrove pitched well. Josh Hader pitched 2 innings save, which means he's tired. Crochet gave up 4 earned runs, and Cobb gave up 3. So, not great. Okay, let's just demote you to AAA. Pitching staff, what do we look like? Sonny Gray's good to go. So this means Hunter Green goes long relief, normal, mop up. So we move everybody up. Wheeler, Cobb. Right, so if we go Wheeler, Sonny Gray, and then Alex Cobb should probably be ready, right? Alex Cobb should be ready for Game 5 if necessary. But we need 2 games at home, guys. Let's go. You Darvish, Zach Wheeler. We need a win. Come on. We need 3 wins. And we lose. The magical run is over. Zach Wheeler, 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned, 2 walks, 7 Ks. He did his job. Crochet and Lane Henderson did not. They did not play very well, but the offense didn't score either. So grateful for the playoff run. This was much better than I think we anticipated, even making the playoffs. Congratulations to San Diego, but this was probably a year ahead of schedule from what I think we expected. And the sweep doesn't hurt as bad because this playoff run, like we made all those deals to try and get into the playoffs, and we got in, but we just couldn't go further than the division series. Grateful we beat St. Louis in the wild card, but let's finish up the playoffs. We'll call it at the end of that. Angels swept the Orioles. Yankees beat the Mariners. So either way, these are going to be this would be a great World Series no matter what happens here. International Free Agents Showcase. Oh, we can do that. Okay. Let's go look at international free agents. The international amateurs. Anybody from the KBO? Interesting? No. Okay. Not this year. Okay. Pitchers. I want to see the personality ratings. No. Okay. Hold on. Default, I guess. Okay. Potential. Let's look at batters. Filter, customize. Oh, not low, and intelligence not low. That's, yeah, I don't care what your overall is if your intelligence, work ethic are low. So we're going to bring these top guys, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to invite you to train. And then we're going to go to the pitchers. I really like this new international amateur page. I like the budget. I like the ability to trade for some money. I like this practice. So we run practice. We try and increase the accuracy, increase the relationships and interest. I like this. This is a cool system. Anyway, let's finish off the playoffs. Play until next week. Mets 1 up on the Padres. Angels up 1-0, and the Mets are up 2-0. 2-0 leads for both teams. 3-0 for the Mets. 3-0 for the Angels. 3-1 for the Mets. I'll tell you what, these two teams look like the teams of destiny right here. The Mets won in 5, and the Angels are up 3-2 now. They were up 3-1. Don't blow it. Don't blow it. 3-3. The Yankees tied. Don't blow it. And the Angels blew a 3-1 lead. And the Yankees and the Mets in a Subway Series. The Mets won game 1. Wait, what was that? Trouble in New York. Steven Nagosic, who cares? Yeah, the Angels blew a 3-0 lead. That was probably their best chance at a really good playoff run for Mike Trout and Shohei, and they blew it. And they blew it 1-1. Kershaw and the Dodgers agree to extension. Please wait, saving. So the Yankees make a deep World Series run, and I have their closer on my roster. What does that make me? Does that make me a World Series champion? 2-1 for the Yanks. 3-1 for the Yankees. 4-1 for the Yankees. Wow, that was not. The Mets won game 1 and then lost 4 straight. Wow. Good for the Yankees. This is a real championship that Yankees fans can really be happy about. They haven't won since 2009, and before that it was like, I don't remember when the last one before that was, but the most winningest franchise in MLB history gets another one. I wonder who was the oh man, we are not responding. I wonder who was the World Series MVP. Sometimes when this happens, I have to turn it on. Okay, we're creating pictures for whatever reason. Why are we only creating Adam Ottavino's picture? All right, owner goal complete. Don't really care about owner goals all that much. They're just still on. 557, that's pretty good. We got some players on the waiver wire. This is off-season starts. Let's go to league news. I wanted to see who the Yankees take the title. Who won the World Series MVP? New York and Pittsburgh. So, at the first day, okay, first day of the offseason, New York, the World Series champion Yankees make a trade with the Pirates, and they give up top prospect Jason Dominguez, Alan Facundo, also a good prospect, and Drew Thorpe for Brian Reynolds. Why would you not do this deal at the deadline? Why now? Why would you do this? This makes no sense. But okay, whatever. A few other trades, nothing super crazy. Why would you trade immediately? I know I have that trading is low. End of season top prospects. Anybody? Ellie De La Cruz is the number 3 prospect in baseball, behind someone named Tink Hence, who I've never seen before. Chase Dollander. I bet our farm system's pretty good. Graham purchases the New York Yankees, bought the club from Hal Steinbrenner. I think that we are not going to have that happen. What? What is going on in the Yankees world? I don't know. Maybe we're going to leave it. Okay. I could see Hal actually selling the team. He was quite economizer in financial areas and lenient in character and temperament. Minnesota fires their GM. Mike Rizzo gets fired in Washington, and Mike Hazen gets fired in Arizona. Okay. I want to find the World Series. I forget how to find it here. Reports. No, league history. Playoff history. Yeah, champions. Oh, now we got to update all the pictures. I don't need all this. Come on, guys. Okay. I would assume Aaron Judge probably won World Series MVP. Nothing. Okay, just a title. Oswald Peraza, Josh Donaldson, Jose Trevino, Anthony Volpe won 1 award, the ALDS MVP. Austin Wells, top prospect. Aaron Hicks, put up a 1 more season. Good for you, man. Glaber, Rizzo. Was it pitchers? Florial, DJ. DJ won the World Series MVP, which is crazy because he had a 618 playoff OPS. Okay, whatever. Rodon was stellar. Gary Cole was stellar. Severino was good. They traded for Aaron Nola at the deadline, which was a good deal. They didn't really give up anything for him. Clay Holmes, Michael King. Yeah, this was a good team, man. You can see our couple guys. Even Willie Calhoun got a ring. He was terrible. So was Bader. Bader was awful. Holy. Okay. Wow. Okay, good for you guys. Anyway, yeah, so let's see what the mailbox says. Alex Cobb decision needed. That's an easy reject. Joe Kelly's an easy reject. Chafin for 7 million. Sorry, we can get Joey Votto retired. Congratulations on a stellar career, Mr. Joey Votto. Thank you for your service to the Cincinnati Reds organization. You are bound for Cooperstown for sure. We got to make sure his jersey numbers retired, and we have Chat GPT write up a bio for Joey Votto. That was one of the coolest things I've seen, was having Chat GPT write the retired number bio. New goals, don't care. Budget 110. Team payroll, I'm not sure if it's actually that, but congratulations, Joey Votto, on a fine career. Manager Joe Madden has decided to retire, which is unfortunate. If I knew he was going to retire after one season, I probably wouldn't have hired him. Arbitration. Okay, so we have decisions to make. We'll get into this off season, but this was a long enough video as it is. So we made the playoffs, good run, and now we try and run it back, and we try and hope that some of these young guys can take a leap forward, and we just supplement the major league roster with our young players, and we see how much money we have. We'll see who we go after, see who's available. But we're not going to spend, to quote Mr. Steve Cohen, like drunken sailors. We're gonna make this decision rationally. So in the next episode, we'll get over offseason and team building and things like that. But thanks everybody for watching this one, and we'll see you in the next episode.